First, I'd just like to thank you for the interaction with this page, all your follows, your likes, your comments, your shares. The topic today actually came from a message I received from someone about asking to explain more about why I recommend Celtic sea salt and the benefits of it, and in terms of hydration and instead of dehydration. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll talk in a second about the Celtic salt in particular, but in general, sodium, salt is a combination of sodium and other minerals. Sodium is critical to life and health, really in every cell in the body. The key part of the fluid, it's the key part of the fluid between the cells, along with potassium. So it helps with that nutrient waste exchange in the body. Sodium is in the blood, it's in the lymph system, it helps maintain hydrochloric acid, levels of hydrochloric acid, which in turn help us break down and digest our food. It's involved in nerve and muscle function and maintains the body's fluid balance, electrolyte balance, and pH balance, which is also very important. Most of the population obtains salt from refined sources, so table salt in the processed form, in other words. So that salt has been stripped of its minerals, and really only two of those minerals remain, sodium and chloride. During the manufacturing process, that salt is usually bleached, and a lot of times sucrose is added to it, or sugar, and it's heated, so then that chemical structure of the salt changes, and obviously we don't want that. So a lot of times anti-caking agents are added to the salt, so the salt won't mix with moisture in the salt shaker itself, and this really isn't good for our body, as that refined salt doesn't dissolve and can sometimes combine with water, leading to buildup and deposits in our tissues and our organs where we don't want it, and can sometimes lead to hypertension, weight gain, fluid retention, things like that. That's why, when you have table salt, regular table salt, and the next morning you can't get your rings off, or you can't get your rings on, or those types of things, the fluid in your body really it becomes a problem. So minerals in general help us assimilate vitamins and nutrients into our cells inside our body. So again, I can't say enough about Celtic salt in general. It contains about 72% of the minerals the body needs. So really breaking it down, it contains about 78% sodium chloride, about 12% other minerals. So Himalayan salt, pink sea salt, those contain about 98% sodium chloride and only about 2% other minerals and moisture. So this is a lot more hydrating, again, in my opinion. But it provides, Celtic salt provides the body with the proper trace minerals and elements to open up the cells in our body and actually let the water inside, which is what we want to happen, right? So it contains the minerals that nature intended. Nothing is removed from it, nothing is artificially added. So it has a naturally occurring trace amount of iodine. And when you think about it, table salt, labeled iodized salt, usually means that iodine has been chemically added to that salt. So again, something we really want to kind of stay away from. If you crave salt, sometimes it's a sign that your adrenals or your stress hormone really needs, your adrenals really need some attention, you're stressed out. So if you crave salt, I say get a little Celtic sea salt, put a little bit on your tongue, and it honestly will help, not only help hydrate your body, but help you calm a little bit. It's got obviously minerals in it, magnesium being one of the big ones. So the light gray sea salt, this is just a mini grinder. We have a large grinder in our office, and then these are refill bags. The light gray sea salt is a coarse, moist salt, and you probably can't see, but when I shake this down a little bit, the bottom, you can see the salt kind of sticking. That's how much moisture to the bottom of the jar here. But the light gray color comes from the mineral-rich clay lining salt bed where it's harvested from off the coast of Europe, Guatemala, and Hawaii most recently. So the fine ground salt, which I don't have an example of, but it's dried at a lower temperature, and it's not dried at a higher temperature, often overheating it and again stripping those minerals, but and then ground down for purposes of the salt shaker itself, for convenience. We just like the grinder. So sometimes when it gets pretty moist, it's pretty moist in there. What we'll do is turn it over, give it a few grinds there, and then we'll very carefully take the top off, and then the salt is out here so that you're not trying to grind it right on your food, and then we just sprinkle it on our food. So a little bit of info about Celtic sea salt.